I will be the first person to admit I got a lot wrong when I made my predictions. Obviously, predictions are just a shot in the dark. You're throwing darts at a board that you don't really know what it looks like. You know, some things I got slightly right, some things not so much. Verizon 5G Ultra Cup review recap. Let's take a look at the first round. You got G2 beating Friends. You know, I think I hit on everything here except Sonics and Ghost. I didn't have faith in Rogue, and that proved to bite me in the ass. And obviously we know Ghost Gaming kind of came out and gave NRG the what for. Ghost donning the new roster with Hawkser, you know, Shock and Lion Blaze, the duo there, turned out to be really, really good for them. And that's a good thing. I'm not like upset that they they busted my bracket. I could give less if I get every single thing right in my prediction, because at the end of the day, you guys are always just make fun of me for being wrong anyways, and that's fine with me, because I'm just wanting to see good Rocket League. I want to see teams perform, and I want to see how rosters play out and stuff like that. So seeing Ghost perform, that was very exciting for me. On the offhand, NRG kind of fell victim to that. NRG, when they won convincingly, 3-0 overall mid. When they lost to Ghost, it was in a sweep. And then when they lost to Rogue, again, it was a sweep. They just couldn't put any long series together. They couldn't tough it out, and it's tough for NRG. They're back to the drawing board. They're not done. Justin put a tweet longer out there. It's a good read if you have the time. Take a look at it. It's really good. But getting back to the event, lower round ones, Envy over Friends, yeah. Accelerate, I predicted that one, right? You know, Accelerate moving down and then winning in the lower bracket there, but it was against Sonics, unfortunately, instead of Rogue. And I did not have a crew going. I had Phoenix going, but a crew, good for them. Taking a look at upper quarterfinals, we got G2 versus Complexity, Version 1 versus Ghost, FaZe Clan versus Rogue, and Space Station versus Oxygen. Notable matchups here, I think G2 looked really good against Complexity. Complexity still was putting up goals, but not enough to shut out get rid of G2. Ghost, a lot of people are saying Version 1 did not look like themselves. I think Version 1 looked fine in this tournament for the most part. There's obviously some hiccups here and there, but I think Ghost, you know, I think they're kind of surprising some people this tournament. They might regress a little bit, you know, in the next one, but regardless of that, they're still pretty good. FaZe Clan versus Rogue is actually a really good series. Two high-powered offenses. Obviously, FaZe come out on top. Rogue put up 6 goals in Game 4, so it was, it was looking pretty tough there, and they go to OT in Game 5, so it could have gone either way, honestly. And then Space Station versus Oxygen, again, same series, back and forth. Better team comes out on top. Space Station in a 7-1, a Brazil on Champions Field, so I think this kind of took the wind out of Oxygen as they go into lower round 2s and eventually lose to Envy. Another back and forth series. Envy looked really good with Illusion. I'm really happy for them that they kind of turned around their performances. Nothing really else noteworthy here other than like the Rogue versus NRG thing. And of course, a crew beating Complexity. I had Complexity in the grand finals. I thought they're going to make a lower bracket run. Obviously, that did not end up happening. A crew take back-to-back OTs, Game 4, Game 5. To send Complexity home, back to the drawing board again for them. It's tough to see what they're going to do. I'm not sure how they want to play this. Tough to say. I think they're still a solid team. Got stuff to work on. You got Envy versus Rogue, which was a really great series, but Rogue come out on top, take for Game 1, and then Envy just put the throttle down. They came out and beat them 3 games in a row. It was a good series overall. Great to see Mysteries and Alu kind of figuring it all out together. Then you get to Version 1 and a crew got Version 1 on the ropes, and then in Games 3 and 4, Version 1 turned into the rats. Calm, staying up field, bumping people, beast mode, cutting rotation, grabbing boost, and staying on the ball because he's just so speedy, he's able to do it. And Torment playing the perfect third man, being that anchor for them. Really good series turnaround for V1 there, and I thought they might be able to keep that momentum up going throughout the rest of this tournament. And we'll see soon that's not the case. We got upper semis, G2 versus Ghost. This is actually a pretty solid series for Ghost. In the first 2 games, it was really close, and then G2 kind of ran away with it after Game 3. They beat them 5-1, and they kind of just they piled it on for 30 seconds. It was crazy. They just kept scoring. And then you get to Wasteland Night, Game 5. Nothing doing for Ghost offensively. It was all G2. FaZe versus Space Station. This is a great series for FaZe. Good bounce back from them. You can see there, Space Station take the first 2 games. FaZe call timeout. Very, very good from them. Kind of regroup, take 4 in a row, send Space Station to lower bracket. And when I say Space Station goes to lower bracket, they have to face V1. We saw this matchup at the Winter Major. It went to Space Station there. It goes to them again. V1, like I said, thought maybe they might be able to turn it around. They could not. Space Station was styling on V1. It was insane to watch. Arsenal, this is one of Arsenal's best tournaments in a long time. It's really great to see him kind of back. Not, I want to say back, not like he left, but he has not been the star-studded player that a lot of people I think grew to know him as, like back in season 8 and season 9. You saw it like flashes of it in season X. This has been his best tournament. And you have Ghost versus Envy. This matchup, I really didn't know how this was gonna go. I thought like it could go either way, but Ghost really showed that they were the more dominant team here. Really great stuff from them, kind of like continuously showing that even though they're a new roster, they have the rotations figured out pretty well. They know how their offense wants to work, and they're executing it really well against Envy. Envy, some slip ups on the defensive end, so just kind of tighten it up there for them, and I could see this series maybe going a little bit longer, maybe flipping in the direction for Envy, but good for Envy overall for this tournament. I think bringing in Alu, getting a 5th, 6th. Then we go to G2 versus FaZe, upper bracket final. This was all G2. 4 straight overtimes, but G2 come on top, winning 4 out of 5. Crazy, like stalwart defense type games for most of them, especially like once it was getting close to the end of the game and you needed to kind of crack down on the defense to send it to OT. Both teams were lights out. It was a great series. Great performances from both. Obviously, G2 gets the edge there, though. Oh, also, G2 secured Worlds, so that's really sick. And then the lower bracket run for Space Station continues against FaZe. You think, you know, maybe FaZe coming from their upper bracket final maybe take something away from G2 there, kind of like, well, what can we do differently? They beat Space Station earlier in the tournament. Does not matter. FaZe kind of flops at the finish line here. Another third place finish for them. Did not make a grand final. And Space Station got a date with G2.
Rettles with that brilliance above the goal line manages to get that tiniest touch over onto the crossbar. Daniel to follow up just by pushing through.
And boy, was it a great grand final between Space Station and G2. First series goes the distance, all 7 games, back and forth for the most part. And then G2 gets to game 5, goes up to match point. They go to Neo Tokyo, SSG clutch it out, and then they go to Champions Field. You're like, man, who's got the edge here? SSG puts up 7 unanswered goals, 7-0 in the final game of a best of 7. You think, oh, SSG has got this in the bag. They've got every bit of momentum that they need. You go to the bracket reset, they win game 1. It's like, oh, it's wraps. G2 rattles off 3 games in a row, completely stunning SSG's offense. 1 goal across 3 games. Nothing was doing for them. And then SSG pop off for 5 goals in game 5, and you're like, oh gosh, these guys just won't go away. And then you get to Neo Tokyo, and you got a 3-minute overtime there to cap off the event. G2 ice up and secure the dub for the Verizon Ultra Cup. Apparently they're doing MVPs now, so the Verizon Ultra Cup MVP was Chicago of G2 Esports. It's determined by a panel of RLCS analysts and administrators, so that's something. Event awards, that's something. Final look at all the standings here after this one. So you got G2 first, Space Station second, FaZe third, Ghost fourth, and then descending order from here, we got Version 1 Team Envy 5th, 6th, Accrue, Rogue 7th, 8th, Accelerate, Complexity, Oxygen, NRG all 9th, 12th, and then Sonic, Charlotte, Phoenix, All Mid, and Friends 13th through 16th. That is the Verizon Ultra Cup all wrapped up, guys. I will see you guys later in the week for the Dacia, I'm assuming Dacia Spring Cup, EU's first event. We'll talk about everything that happened also in the emerging regions elsewhere in Rocket League. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.